Hello and welcome to another Out of the Park 23 tutorial. So today I'm going to focus on Perfect Team, although it's a little bit awkward because Perfect Team 23 hasn't released. It's actually supposed to release tomorrow morning, but I wanted to give you a few tips ahead of time, stuff that's worked across versions of the game and in spite of the new update should continue to work theoretically, even if the exact implementation may look a little different depending on how launch goes and how some of the new features go. But with that said, here's a few tips, and I'm really going to be aiming for the free-to-play accounts. The principles apply for your pay-to-win or your, somewhere in between accounts as well. But especially on free-to-play, these are very important because you don't get to throw money at your team and build it like you're the Dodgers. So you have to be a little bit more Oakland or Tampa Bay about it. So the first thing is, as soon as you can, sign up and get started. Ideally, launch day. If you can't, you may actually be better off waiting a little bit, because one of the ways that you accumulate points is in the entry pool. And the entry pool is a league that isn't a league. It doesn't have, the same sort of winners, and it runs more frequently. It runs every 30 minutes rather than on a 162 game schedule. So it's easier to win, to get more points and to win more achievements that way because of the schedule. So a lot of people, whenever the game would release on, say, a Friday, would wait until the following Monday, because on Monday, the leagues regenerate, players get put into their assigned tier of iron, bronze, etc. And from there, anybody that joins after that point goes into the entry pool until the next Monday. So if you really want to accumulate points, I would recommend either starting as soon as you can or wait until the following Monday or a Monday after you start. It's not necessary, and it's, borderline min-maxing. If you just want to play, by all means, just play. But if you're really dedicated to getting the most points, that could be a good way to do it. As well, this year, there's certain limitations. I don't have them in front of me, but every year there is a loyalty bonus, which if you just played last year's game, I believe right now is just an extra gold pack, which is an awesome start to your team. But if you've been playing since the beginning of Perfect Team, you can get up to, I think, 2 diamond packs and a historical pack and a bunch more stuff. It's really nice this year. They've upgraded those rewards further. So if you can, make sure to get in. And if you've played, the OOTP forums has some info on how to make sure that you're signing up with the correct username, correct email, because they've migrated back-end systems. So you're best off following that to make sure you don't lose out on your rewards, especially if you're a long-time player. Also, you may not have known this because it took me a few weeks of playing before I found out on, I think, a Discord somewhere, that you can actually sign up for 3 accounts per license. So in this case, well, you couldn't see it because of my camera, but I'm logged into my main user account, but I have the same username with a 2 and a 3 because I wanted to make 2 extra free-to-play accounts. So this is good for anybody. It counts per game license. So if for some reason you have 2 copies, like a Steam and a FastSpring license, you could have up to 6 Perfect Team accounts. But it's something that definitely helps, and especially free-to-play, if you don't feel like you have much to do while you're accumulating points, it helps to be able to do that across across accounts and sort of spread out that rate limit of how many perfect points you have. So definitely do that if you haven't already. And if you're new to the game, enjoy it all the more that way. Often I usually have 2 free-to-play accounts and then 1 that is, my attempt to actually win something, which usually doesn't work out, but it's worth, something fun that you can do. I've also done, in this one, I did a Future Legends team. Another team was all live cards. In the past, I've done all contact or all, power, things like that. So you can have a lot of fun that way with those extra accounts. But getting into sort of the meat of how to really optimize and get more cards, more packs, all that, you really want to focus on the live missions. So if you go to the collection missions under the main screen, you'll see the live series, which I have filtered out, but on launch day, this will probably be the only set of missions available, or there won't be many more beyond it. Last year, what they did is they had a smaller mission, which was, actually, let me just shrink this down a little bit so you can see it better. But they had a 15 and a complete mission per team, which is to say each team, you had a mission where you would only have to get 15 cards, and you would generally try and get the 15 iron, bronze, maybe some silver cards if you had to, and then get a gold pack for that. There then was a complete mission as well, which was usually about 22 to 30 cards, I believe, somewhere in that range. And once you did that, you would get a special edition card in addition to the pack. And then you got rewards for completing entire divisions or completing the AL or NL. So really, these are a great way to speed things up. In the past, they've done standard packs, multiple standard packs, gold packs. They'll announce that probably not long after this stream or after this video is recorded. So we'll see if that changes at all and makes it easier or harder to start with. So next then, like I said, if you can fulfill those, your next bet is to get cards that have really, I would say, have a higher emphasis on specific attributes, specifically the things that will get you achievements. Usually that's geared towards stolen bases, strikeouts, home runs. There may be others depending on what they release. And of course, just winning games and having shutouts and things can be helpful. So don't necessarily throw out, a perfect rated historical card just because it's more movement focused than strikeout focused. It'll still be very valuable in getting you achievement points. However, if you have two cards that are similar in their effectiveness, you would probably want to tend towards the card that had more speed so you can just ramp up the stolen bases, especially in the entry pool. Wins aren't a big deal. You really want to get those points in. So try and optimize for points via achievements. That's something I haven't historically done a good job of, but it's something I'm going to be on the lookout for more this year. Then next, build out an iron or bronze tournament squad. And like I said, historically, these have been the easiest ones to build. There may be some changes where they've talked about throwing in some new tournament formats. Some of them may be cheaper to build or easier to build, especially if there's a lot of historical cards of one type that really dominate a format. So that, your mileage may vary a bit in what turns out to be best. Like I said, for the past 4 years, all 4 durations of the game, iron and bronze have been the quickest and cheapest to build out. For the equivalent of 2 or 3 packs, you can get a tournament squad. And don't be surprised if it takes you a while to win anything, especially bronze and iron, where you've got really, a lot of the teams are very similar. They have a lot of overlap. You'll see, especially in a couple weeks, once people get more and more packs and the metagame sort of stabilizes, you'll see, half of, every bronze team is going to be the same. So there's just an element of luck and randomness in there. So just keep entering tournaments whenever you can, and hopefully you get some extra packs that way. Then additionally, if you've got some spare time to just run sims in the background, challenge mode actually helps quite a bit. Challenge mode will, once you hit certain achievements, will randomly drop packs as rewards. And the easiest way to get that is to pick a very overpowered team, or very similar to the entry pool, pick a team that has a lot of standouts in a particular area and go for that. I think challenge mode probably favors less of a specific team build and more just winning in general. So if you don't know what to pick, I would highly recommend going for a historical sim and picking the 1931 Yankees. Any of those Yankees teams should be ridiculously good, but when you've got Ruth and Gehrig and like 8 other Hall of Famers, you're going to win a million games and you get a lot of achievements, and it's a really quick way to farm packs, especially if you can, sim in the background while you do something useful. And worst case is you can just restart another sim and, keep going through that process after a couple of years. And then finally, once you get all those packs and you've gotten the rewards, you should have some duplicates. And really, if you get to start on launch day, there is no better time to sell those, especially live duplicates. And really, surprisingly, last year, it was a lot of the bronze and silver duplicates, more so than the gold or diamond. Those tended to basically sell on launch day last year. The live golds and diamonds, by the end of the first day, were selling for essentially quick sell prices, if maybe a little bit more, but not a huge amount. Whereas you could sell certain bronzes and silvers for, a bronze for 500 to 1,000, and then a silver for 1,000 or more whenever they'd quick sell for 25 or 100 points. So if you can do that, and you can really farm a lot of points on the team that I actually used real money on last year. I bought a certain amount of packs. I can't remember how many, but whenever I was flipping all my bronze and silver duplicates, I managed to open another probably 2 times what I had bought, or 3 times what I had bought, just from, flipping those duplicates. I don't know how much that will change with the new buy order and sell order system. It could be, could really nerf the prices on launch day, or could send them soaring really high. I'm not sure. I'm not going to try and predict it. I'll just see what it looks like whenever I log in later that day after launch. So we'll see. But that's definitely a great way to get that, to take advantage of all the people who want the live rewards right now, and you may have something that they didn't, or vice versa. And it'll, it's sort of a sharing is caring thing, right? Or you just farm points if you bought a million packs, and good on you. You keep the game cheap for the rest of us. So on that note, I'm excited to see what happens with the launch information stream tonight, and hopefully launch goes smoothly tomorrow. Don't be surprised if there's a little bit of a delay or some slowness, especially with the errors that they had in the lead up to the launch. But in general, the first couple hours, the servers are pretty slammed. So don't be surprised if there's some instability or slowness, and go easy on the devs if that happens. Launches are always a bunch of fun that way. So in the meantime, happy simming.